Hey, folks, Dr. Joe Esposito here. I am so glad you're with us today. Hey, starting out today, great topic that affects a lot of people, and it's something people don't want to talk about. It's their love life. We're going to talk about things that might be killing the romance in your life, destroying your amorous moods, because there are certain things that people are doing every single day that are decreasing their desire. And most of them are really easy to fix. And we're going to talk about brain chemistry. We're going to talk about little tricks you can do to change the neurotransmitters in your brain so that you like the person you're with more. And if you have maybe drifted away from some of these techniques, you can start reintroducing them into your life. Watch what happens. It's really cool stuff. So we're going to talk about neurology. We're going to talk about chemistry. We're going to talk about neurophysiology, how the brain works. A lot of big words there. And you're going to be really, really smart in the next 24 minutes or so. And then we got more to cover too. So anyway, romance killers. So many people do things very well when they're stressed out. Romance, or amorous, is not one of them. Stress when you're at work, at home, relationships, kids, money, viruses. Learning how to handle these issues and how to be healthy are going to be the key. There's a lot you can do. Because what happens is when you get under stress, your adrenal glands, one of my favorite organs in the body, produces something called cortisol. Cortisol is a hormone that's released into your body when you're under stress. Now, cortisol is necessary because it takes blood away from your organs and it sends it into your muscles so you can run away or fight. It makes your hair stand on end sometimes. It utilizes fuel more efficiently. So short term, that's not bad. Right now, if a gunshot goes off, your adrenal is going to release cortisol and all these great effects are going to happen. However, if you have long-term release of cortisol due to long-term stress, that's counterproductive. It lowers your testosterone. It causes your body to lay down fat to store energy. Fat produces estrogen. Estrogen causes you to lay down fat, which produces estrogen. So if you're stressed out, that could be one of the reasons why you're not losing weight. Here's the ironic part. The catch is that if you're stressed out, you gain weight. If you gain weight, you're stressed out because you're getting fat. Now, I used to be fat, so I can say the F word. So you get kind of caught in this cycle, and then it's hard to get out of that cycle. It's hard to break the cycle. So cortisol level goes up with stress, which then causes more increased stress, which causes more cortisol, which really will put a damper on your love life. So we want to get to the cause of why you're stressed out. Is it chemical stress? Well, that's easy. Go to my website, drjoe.com. Listen to the show we did called So What Can I Eat? And that'll tell you what to eat. You could start with the 7 deadly sins of nutrition. So if you're new to the show, drjoe.com, 7 deadly sins of nutrition, followed up with So What Can I Eat? That tells you what to eat, what not to eat. That solves a lot of your chemical issues. Really simple, really easy. Do it in your car. Do it when you're walking. Do it just sitting around the house. Listen to the shows. You'll learn a whole lot. I tell people to listen to those shows about, I say, between 5 and 11 times. And the reason is I talk fast, and it's a lot of new information you've never heard before. So you might want to tune in and a couple of times to really get the true gist of what we're trying to say. So that can certainly, take the desire out of your life. Partner problems, of course, is probably the top romance killer. For women, feeling close is a major part of desire. And men and women think differently, surprisingly. And so, gentlemen, it's really important that you understand that, or depending what relationship you're in. Not here to make decisions for you. But fallout from fights, poor communication, feeling betrayed, other trust issues, a lack of communication. You say one thing, you do something else. That can be a big issue. So start thinking about that. Are you being consistent in your relationship? You might say something like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to go on vacation to New York. I'll make something up here. Bahamas. We'll go someplace nice. And then suddenly it's like, I hate it when it's hot. I don't like the beach. I don't want to travel. I'm afraid to fly. Well, that's mixed messages, and that's very frustrating to your partner. They don't understand. You said, okay, you want to go to Bahamas. I just bought tickets to Bahamas. Now you tell me you don't like the beach. I'm confused. And that certainly can put a damper on relationships. So think about what you're saying and think if you're giving out mixed messages. If you are, decide what you want. You want to go to the beach? You don't want to go to the beach. Okay, that's a metaphorical issue there. Alcohol is a biggie to numb your desire. Because when you drink alcohol, it lowers your testosterone levels. Now, You might think that you're being sexy. You might think that you're being funny. You might think that you're lowering your inhibitions. That all may be so, but from a chemical and a hormone standpoint, alcohol lowers testosterone. Testosterone is your romance-driving hormone. And so if your testosterone is low, you might think you're having a good time. You might think you're going to have a good time, but in many cases, for both men and women, it's counterproductive. So consider that. I do a show every February, and it's the only show I ever repeat verbatim, and it's the Food Romance Connection. And we talk about how food affects your love life. And it's on the website, drjoe.com. You can just type in Food Romance Connection and listen to that show. But alcohol is one of the things I cover in depth because you think, well, I'm going to go out, have a couple glasses of wine. It's going to get fun. Probably not. Okay, because you're not going to get the full effect. So if wine is the thing that you have to need for romance, then you got to find out, why do you need the wine or the scotch or whatever it is, or the beer. So consider that lowering testosterone. Now, testosterone is not just your sex drive hormone. It not only makes you amorous, but it's necessary for muscles. And not just your biceps and your triceps. Your heart, your reproductive organs, your blood vessels, your colon, these are all muscles. And they need testosterone in order to work. And if you're lowering your testosterone, one of the ways you do it is with alcohol, not a good result. You're not going to be happy with that outcome. If you're not getting enough sleep, too little sleep can have an adverse effect on your love life as well. So maybe you rise early, maybe you go to bed early. You have your patterns, but many times if we're stressed out, we're not going to get a good night's sleep. And that's going to affect a lot of issues like raising our cortisol levels. So be careful. If you're not getting enough sleep, go to our website, drjoe.com, listen to the show we did on sleep. Just type in sleep. And we cover a lot of different aspects of sleep and the things that you can do to help you sleep better. Now, there's hormones in your brain that are released at different points in a traditional relationship. When you first meet somebody and you start to fall crazy in love with them and you get stupid over it, your body is releasing a hormone, neurotransmitter in the brain called dopamine. Dopamine is the neurotransmitter that gives you pleasure. And so when you're first crazy in love, the dopamine phase. You're happy, you're crazy about each other, you want to be together all the time, you think it's cute. I remember a gal told me one time many, many years ago, the thing you love about someone initially is the thing that drives you crazy about them later on in a relationship. And I thought, boy, is that ever true? Oh my gosh, I think it's so cute the way he, pops his gum, or the way he giggles, or whatever it is, or she. And later on, you're like, oh, it drives me nuts when I do that. And so understand that the thing that used to be attractive to you was probably because you were releasing a lot of dopamine. As time goes on in a healthy relationship, the dopamine levels fade 6 months to a year, and then you switch over to another neurotransmitter called oxytocin. Oxytocin is the bonding neurotransmitter. It's the neurotransmitter that causes you to bond to someone. Women release oxytocin when they breastfeed. Women release oxytocin when they have peak romantic experiences. We'll try to keep it clean for family here. So oxytocin is released. Men, not so much. They don't release oxytocin. So women are more likely to bond to somebody if they're having a pleasurable romantic experience than even men are because of that oxytocin release. Now, you can still have dopamine in any stage of relationship, and oxytocin is the thing that's going to keep you together. There are some people, and the term is called serial monogamy. And they've gone through one relationship after another, and it usually fades after the thrill is gone, maybe 6 months or a year. And they meet somebody, they're crazy, goo goo gaga over them, and they have lots of dopamine being released. The dopamine starts to fade, and they go, this person isn't that exciting anymore. Next. And they move on to the next exciting thing in their lives. So if you're a serial monogamist, it may be that your body is releasing lots of dopamine, but you never get into that oxytocin bonding phase. And the way we get into that oxytocin bonding phase, if you want to, is simple human contact. Something as simple as holding hands. When you hold hands with someone, it releases oxytocin. When you hug somebody, it releases oxytocin. If you lay on a couch and watch a movie and cuddle together, oxytocin. So this is really important that oxytocin is released, and why parents oftentimes will cuddle with their children. That's really important to do that because you're releasing that oxytocin and bonding them together. When a woman breastfeeds, we said that oxytocin is released. So it's important that you understand that there are things that you can do to get the oxytocin released. So if you do want to continue the relationship in a healthy manner, do things like cuddle, watch TV together, hold hands together. The more human contact you have, the more likelihood you are to raise the oxytocin levels. Okay, so you're going to go, everything fades out of that dopamine phase. Now, you can keep that dopamine phase going too. Romance, of course, is a good way to keep that dopamine released. We all released dopamine at peak experiences, keeping it clean. So that's something that can work. Get to those happy levels, those romantic levels, release that oxytocin and add release the dopamine, add the oxytocin to it, and now you neurologically can have a healthy relationship. Without those neurotransmitters, it's almost impossible to have a healthy relationship. And so those are some things that can certainly kill your romance because the neurotransmitters are off. So think about that. Those are some things you might want to consider. And we cover a lot of that in the Food Romance Connection. You could listen to that on the website, drjoe.com. Other things that can take the zip out of the spring out of your step. How about that? Of course, having children. You do lose a lot of time and closeness with a lot of kids everywhere. So it's important that you actually plan time together. We're going to get a babysitter. We're going to drop them off at grandma's house. We're going to have a play date. We'll drop the kid off at a play date. I understand you want to be with your children. I totally get that. And that's why kids are so great. And when they cuddle with you, you bond to them because you're releasing oxytocin. But sometimes you do need a little adult time. So something to consider is how can we have adult time? And if you have adult time, plan it. Don't just say, I'm going to drop the kid off. What do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? And that can create animosity, of course, which can then raise the cortisol levels, lower the testosterone levels, and it can be an issue. Now, there's a song, and line in the song is, what's love got to do with it? All it is a chemical reaction. And so, kind of true. The chemicals in your brain are the things that really determine. Tina Turner did the song. And the song was What's Love Got to Do with It? And if you listen to the words, it really is a story about neurotransmitters. And so we got to play this game to get the neurotransmitters working. If you've listened to my shows before, you know I talk a lot about neurotransmitters. And the most important thing we can do for normal function of neurotransmitters is making sure the gut is working properly. And for those of you who have heard this story before, I got to say it again. We have new listeners from all over the world every day. Your stomach has one main job. And that job is to take proteins, whether it's from a carrot or a steak, unravel them, because they look like a ball of yarn, and chop them up into something called amino acids. The amino acid tryptophan becomes serotonin in your brain. Serotonin makes you happy. Serotonin becomes melatonin, which helps you sleep. We talked about sleep being something that can certainly take the thrill out of your love life. Tyrosine becomes dopamine. Dopamine is the pleasure neurotransmitter. So if you have digestive issues, heartburn, acid reflux, burping, gas, bloating, irritable bowel syndrome, these are all signs you're not digesting your food properly. So chances are you're not breaking proteins into amino acids. Amino acids become neurotransmitters. Your brain can't create the environment for a good, healthy relationship. And I can't tell you how many patients I've seen in the 37 years I've been in practice. When we fix their digestive system, their brain essentially rebooted itself. And issues like bonding issues, ADD, ADHD, anxiety, depression, bipolar. We've had people that were suicidal. We've had people that can't sustain a healthy relationship. We stabilize their digestive system. And many times the stomach is physically pushing up into the diaphragm. So we, my doctors, will take the stomach and pull it down away from the diaphragm. And we're able to pull the stomach away from the diaphragm, we're able to start digesting food properly again. And then we're able to get neurotransmitter production, and then suddenly the brain starts to work better. So I cannot stress enough that if you have digestive issues, heartburn, acid reflux, burping, gas, bloating, there are almost countless reasons why you want to get that fixed. Acid in your throat can eat away at your throat and lead to throat cancer. Bad breath. Neurotransmitter issues, bloating, gas, diarrhea, constipation, malnutrition. It goes on and on and on. And many times the solution is we need to pull the stomach away from the diaphragm. Now, it's not a one and done. You're not going to come in, I'm going to pull your stomach down. You're going to go, I'm healed, thank you, I'm healthy again. It's going to take some time to restructure. We also want to check the nerve supply to the stomach. the sex organs, the ovaries, the testicles, the adrenal glands, which also produces hormones, because those organs have to have proper nerve supply from the spine. So if you have low back pain, those nerves can affect your colon, sex organs, and bladder. Lower mid-back pain, that can affect the adrenal glands and the kidneys, which produce hormones like testosterone. Nerve supply to the stomach, not breaking down proteins properly. Nerve supply to the small intestine, not absorbing nutrients properly. So this is where a wellness plan becomes so important for all aspects of health. I believe this is the missing link to healthcare. If we can get the nervous system working, if we can get the digestive system working, if we can get the diet straightened out, now we have a chance of the body working properly. Every day, again, I've been doing this for 37 years. I've missed a half a day of work in 37 years. Every day, patients come in and they say, I've tried this, I've had surgery, I've had counseling, I've had physical therapy, I've had medications, injections, drugs. We don't see the results. Suddenly we add chiropractic, we add fixing the stomach, we add nutrition, we add supplements to the diet, and they say, why didn't I do this sooner? Not everybody. But for many patients, this is the answer to a lot of their problems. And when it comes to romance, we need good circulation. So if you're eating saturated fats, meat, sugars, dairies, coffees, artificial sweeteners, breads, cookies, cakes, donuts, pastas, these foods are bad for your romance. So we change the diet. We get them on supplements like nitric oxide. I cannot stress enough the benefits of nitric oxide when it comes to romance for men and women. Nitric oxide opens up the blood vessels, increases circulation to the body. Then we check the nerve supply to the organs. Then we get them on a minimum Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source, 2 products I think everybody should be taking. Then we get them on adrenal support. And then we have men's hormone support, which helps give the body the raw materials to help maybe produce testosterone. We get them on estrogen regulators. Estrogen regulators prevents testosterone from converting into estrogen. Estrogen is the counterproductive hormone in the body when it comes to romance. So there's so many things we can do from a supplement standpoint. Super Green, Essential Source, nitric oxide, hormone support for men and women, estrogen regulator. If you're perimenopausal or menopausal, don't take estrogen regulator. It's not for you. It's for everybody else, but not for you. So supplement-wise, there are things we can do to help the romance. We got to open up the nerve supply from a chiropractic standpoint. We got to fix the stomach so we can break proteins into amino acids to produce neurotransmitters to make the body feel pleasure, to feel connection. Now, suddenly, we have a plan. Up to this point, most people have like insurance coverage, but they don't have a health plan. And this is actually a health plan when it comes to romance and a lot of other issues as well. If you're taking medications like antidepressants, blood pressure medications, birth control pills, some studies say, some don't, that it can affect your romance, chemotherapy, anti-HIV drugs, all these different types of medication can have an adverse effect on your romance. So let's assume you're on blood pressure medication, which is by far the number one medication I see patients on. What if there was a way, and I'm not saying I have the answer, but what if there was a way to lower blood pressure naturally? Would you want to do it? Of course you would. So go to our website, drjoe.com, listen to the show we did on blood pressure. Sometimes when the stomach is not working right, it affects the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve helps control the blood pressure. We fix the stomach and the digestive system, and the blood pressure normalizes. So there's so many benefits to fixing the nerve supply, fixing the digestive system, if we can, pulling the stomach away from the diaphragm. Then hopefully the blood pressure drops. We can get you off the medications. Don't stop your medications until your medical doctor tells you to. I am not qualified to do that. I don't want to do that. I can help get you well so that hopefully your doctor says, you know what, Bob, you don't need that medication anymore. You're doing great. And that's our goal in our office. We want to get you out of pain. We want to get the digestive system working, get you on some good foods, good supplements, and then hopefully a lot of the other conditions you have fall to the wayside. So if you do want to make an appointment in the Atlanta area, we have offices in Marietta, Duluth, Stockbridge, and West Cobb. We would love to be your doctors. You can go to the website, drjoe.com. It's book an appointment. It's everywhere, all over the website. Book an appointment. Set up a consultation now. Call us. Let's get you set up. We accept almost all insurances, and we do the filing for you. Car accidents, if you're ever in a car accident, folks, if the car was damaged, you were damaged in my experience. I've never seen it any other way. So get to us as quickly as possible if you're in a car accident. So if we can get the nervous system working, get the digestive system working, get you on good supplements, Super Greens and Essential Source minimum, now we have a plan. All of that information is on the website, drjoe.com. I talk fast. I know I do. If I talk too fast, you can always call the office and we can answer any questions you might have, or send a question through the website, drjoe.com. And we're more than happy to work with you. Now, we're talking about romance today, things that'll kill your romance. And so come see us for an appointment. But other issues could be body image. Many people have body dysmorphia. I don't look sexy. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not muscular enough. I'm not tall enough. If you have a partner and you find them attractive, tell them. I think you're beautiful. I think you're handsome. Can't tell you how far that goes. And if you have children, I'm begging you, please tell the children how wonderful they are. Tell them how pretty they are. I find this especially with women. The most important person in their lives when they're young, first man in their lives, is their father. And if you tell a young girl, you know what? How's my beautiful child today? You look so nice today. I love your hair like that. That's going to build so much self-esteem that's going to carry on to their lives. And so, whether you think it or not, say it. I cannot stress enough the importance of parents giving their children positive feedback and your partner positive feedback. We all like to hear words of affirmation. May not be your top love language, if you know what that is, but words of affirmation are important to everyone. Some people say, oh, no, I'm not. Tell me more. Tell me more. Words of affirmation are important, and it's really important in a relationship. And it doesn't necessarily have to be about aesthetics. I can't tell you how much I appreciate the fact that you made my favorite smoothie for breakfast this morning. That goes a long way, folks. So positive feedback is important. And in any relationship, whether it's a romantic relationship, a friend relationship, a coworker relationship, positive feedback goes a long way to produce dopamine in the brain because it's a pleasure neurotransmitter, and serotonin, which makes you happy. So you can do it chemically, you can do it physically, and you can do it through your acts and through your words. So consider all those if you want to have healthy relationships. Works real well, by the way. Watch it. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. So what? But I'm not wrong. Obesity is a big one because fat produces estrogen. Estrogen counteracts testosterone, and of course, then there's the body image as well. So if you have a problem losing weight, I used to be fat. I have stretch marks on my chest, on my legs. I get what you're going through. What we do in our office, we have a 21-day jumpstart program for weight loss, and it helps to reset the brain. Because when it comes to eating too much, it's your brain. Your brain is saying, I know I shouldn't eat this cookie, but I'm going to eat it anyway because it gives me that momentary rush of pleasure. And so we can many times reset the brain on a 21-day protocol and then go into a healthy diet as well, continue the healthy diet. Now, you can continue the 21-day protocol as long as you want to. Some people do that, and it works real well. So testosterone issues, we talked about that. Of course, nitric oxide is good to increase circulation, but cutting out the animal fats. Animal fats are loaded with estrogen, and estrogen lowers testosterone. So when it comes to romance, going to a plant-based diet is something the easiest, quickest things that you can do for men and women to get their romance back on track. And so it's another of the many, many, many benefits to staying away from animal proteins and animal fats because animals have estrogen in it. Fat has estrogen in it. So you're eating estrogen directly counteracting testosterone. Make sense? So if you have any questions, folks, you always go to our website, drjoe.com. Gosh, I got so much more I want to cover. But on the website, we have over 1,500 hours of podcasts. I need you to do me a favor. Follow us on social media at Dr. Joe Esposito. If you send us your email address, we'll put you on our mailing list. Garrett sends out emails all the time on specials and product discounts and new products coming up. So follow us there. And on Facebook, we have a group called the Joe It Alls. If you want to become a Joe It All, that's kind of like our little private group that we have on Facebook. At Dr. Joe Esposito, the website, drjoe.com. If you're a podcast junkie, look up Dr. Joe for the health of it.